There's a new industry Alabama's interested in, retirees. Economic development officials say retirees can bring economic stability to rural areas of the state as well as add to the urban population base. This week, officials from the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs held an Attracting Retirees workshop. Emily Rohn attended and filed this report.
And believe me, when you can pull out our monthly schedule and say, here's what we're doing, that does attract people.
What kind of people? Retirees. It's the latest strategy for economic development in Alabama. At this conference, local communities and their chamber officials are learning how to attract this new industry to the area.
As you know, it's very hard to recruit an industry to some of the rural areas of Alabama because of several factors, education and the tax base and infrastructure. So we're looking for things that would work in the existing economic environment. Those things are things like tourism and attracting retirees. We had several communities that already had an interest in that, and so we felt like a statewide effort in conjunction with the reunion year of '89 would be appropriate. We began during that period of time, and now we're at almost full circle. We've come out of the block. We're not a fledgling effort anymore, and now we're really trying to use it to broaden the base of economic development in Alabama, job creation and retention in the rural sections of Alabama. That's one strategy, and then the urban areas are another strategy to add to their asset base and population base.
What about concerns that with healthcare costs rising, that attracting the elderly could put a strain on the state's healthcare system, particularly in rural areas where rural hospitals are falling to the wayside, and also putting a strain on the state's Medicaid system for elderly who can't afford these high healthcare costs?
The migrants that we are attracting are called return migrants, people who were born and raised in Alabama who've earned a pension and now looking to come back. Also amenity migrants, people that are looking for fantasy lifestyle around water or mountains or some recreational amenity. And those people are healthy, wealthy, and well-educated. There's a natural screening for those that can relocate. And most people are relocating between the ages of 55 and 65. And if they don't relocate by the age of 65, it gets increasingly harder. You have to be fairly healthy, wealthy, and well-educated in order to make the move. So these people, number one, can pay for their health care. They will create a nice demand for health care. They're healthier than they've ever been. They don't have to live next to UAB. They are interested in regional facilities.
This is the third year for this statewide conference. Those attending study such topics as the economic impact of the retirement community.
If we look nationally at an average, and this is strictly a national average, we hope that this is true for Alabama, we find that their asset base, usually from an existing home and stocks and bonds and savings, is around $250,000 on an average. They bring with them $250,000 and hopefully spend about $60,000 to $100,000 on the home here. Now, these are the pension elite. In other words, they work 30 or 35 years at a major corporation in America, the railroads, a utility, IBM, something like that, and they're drawing an annual income, pension income of around $25,000 to $30,000, which is about twice the standard of average income in Alabama. So they really are the folks that will be contributors to your community. They volunteer a tremendous amount. Their Project SCORE, the Senior Retired Volunteer Program, help businesses. There's some programs where they help children in school in their reading skills. They have a tremendous amount of history and expertise in specific subjects. So they really become vitally active people in the community because they have the time.
To how to advertise for the senior market.
First thing, they've got to define who they are. What are their advantages? What are the resources they have in the community? Second thing is, do the people in the community want new neighbors? Do they want that new affluence coming into their community? And if they can clear that out, then you package a program and you reach out and invite people to come. They'll come first as tourists. They then come as, the average tourist will come 2.5 to 3 times before they consider moving into an area. And tourism is the cleanest industry in our society. Nobody takes anything away in tourism. So it's a win-win kind of thing.
And in times when the fate of business seems to fluctuate with the economy, local officials are learning that retirees can provide some economic stability.
One analysis has shown that 3.7 minimum wage factory jobs equals 1 retiree household. Or if you want to think of it, one retiree household has the same economic impact as 3.7 factory jobs. There's a very low risk in implementing a strategy to attract retirees for economic development. Because even if you don't attract one single retiree, you'll increase tourism. And if people stay in your area over 2 hours, their body fluids deplenish, they start spending money. So as long as the money ends up in the community, that's what's important.
They bring a stability to the community. There's very little demands on the community. They need the services of the community. And they will also be a great volunteer group, which every city requires, every city needs.
Not only that, but I guess the quality of life that it enhances in our community when we mix the young and the old. It just gives us a chance to all work together and be a part of the community together.
In addition to this conference, state leaders plan to hold a follow-up workshop in the fall to further their efforts in exploring this new market for economic development. Reporting for The Record, I'm Emily Roan.
That wraps up our show. Thanks for watching.